Hey, before you scroll past this video, I need you to stop right now because if you receive Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB, survivor, spousal, or any fixed income benefit, what is happening on March 11th directly impacts the money you depend on every single month. And there are actually two major things happening on that date that most people have no idea about. Two. And together, they tell a very important story about your financial reality right now. I've been getting comments and emails flooding in all week. People saying, where is my SSI check and is Social Security being cut and what is going on with my benefits? And I hear every single one of you. You deserve real answers, not headlines designed to scare you and not spin designed to make everything seem rosy when your grocery bill says otherwise. So today, we are going to cover it all. The payment schedule for March, the Social Security staffing shakeup that is already affecting millions of people, the February inflation report dropping on March 11th, and why that number matters enormously to your benefits. The Federal Reserve's quiet money printing move from December that most people missed, and the Medicare Part B squeeze that is eating your 2.8% COLA alive. We've got a lot to get through, so let's go. For those of you who are new here, welcome to Retirees Info. We talk about Social Security benefits and financial survival for everyday Americans literally every single day on this channel. We're talking Social Security, retirement, SSDI, survivor benefits, spousal benefits, SSI, VA, RRB. It literally doesn't matter the benefit type. If you're living on any kind of fixed income, this channel is built for you. We've helped millions of Americans find money, resources, and programs they didn't even know existed. And today, I want to make sure you walk away from this video feeling informed, prepared, and not alone. Quick shout out to today's sponsor, MD Hearing, and their brand new Neo XS Pro hearing aids. Listen, clinic hearing aids can run you $2,000 to $7,000. That's just not realistic on a fixed income. MD Hearing changes that. The Neo XS Pro is an FDA-registered over-the-counter hearing aid, no prescription, no clinic visits, designed by apologists to help 94% of Americans with hearing loss. Tiny, rechargeable, and personalized to your hearing. And right now, through my link in the description, you get 20% off. Every device comes with a 60-day risk-free trial and real US-based license support whenever you need it. They even have a free 8-minute online hearing test you can take from home right now. If you or someone you love has been putting off dealing with hearing loss because of cost, this is your sign. Link is in the description. Use it for your 20% discount. Okay, back to your money. Here's the thing. March 2026 is one of the most layered, complicated months we've had in a while when it comes to your money and your benefits. And it's not just one thing happening. It is a combination of events colliding all at once. We've got a shifted payment schedule creating confusion. We've got a major SSA operational overhaul that went live on March 7th. We've got inflation data dropping on March 11th. The same day, a wave of Social Security payments hit bank accounts. And we've got a bigger economic backdrop of tariffs, money printing, and rising prices that is quietly draining your purchasing power. I want to make sure you understand all of it because each piece connects to the next. So let's take it step by step. Let me start with the thing causing the most panic right now. If you receive SSI supplemental Social Security income, you may have noticed that there is no SSI payment in March 2026. Let me say that plainly. There is no separate SSI deposit arriving in March, and I need you to hear me when I say this is not a cut. This is not your money being taken. This is not a benefit change. Here is the simple truth. SSI payments are always issued on the first of each month, but in 2026, March 1st falls on a Sunday. When that happens, the SSA sends your payment on the last business day before it, which this time was Friday, February 27th. So your March SSI payment arrived early. It's already in your account. It came on February 27th. So if you received two payments in February, one on the 3rd and one on the 27th, that second one was your March payment. You're not missing money. It just came early. And here's the heads up for what comes next. Your April SSI payment will arrive on Wednesday, April 1st, which is a normal business day. So April is back on the regular schedule. All right, For SSDI recipients and Social Security retirement beneficiaries, here is your exact March payment calendar directly from the Social Security Administration. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of any month, your March payment comes on Wednesday, March 11th. That is this coming Wednesday. If your birthday falls between the 11th and 20th, your payment arrives on Wednesday, March 18th. If your birthday falls between the 21st and 31st, your payment comes on Wednesday, March 25th. And if you began receiving Social Security before May 1997, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI, your payment came on Monday, March 3rd. Write those dates down, put them in your phone, share this video with someone who needs to know this. To all the veterans watching, first, thank you for your service. Here's what you need to know. Your VA disability compensation payment for March 2026 was dispersed on Monday, March 3rd. Since March 1st fell on a Sunday, these payments are already reflecting the 2.8% COLA increase that went into effect in January. Monthly base payments now start at $17,251 for a 10% disability rating and go up from there, with the maximum standard benefit exceeding $4,000 per month, depending on your rating and dependent status. And there is some genuinely encouraging VA news we'll get to in just a moment. Okay, now here is the piece of this story that most people aren't connecting, and it is arguably the most important thing happening on March 11th, not just for your payment date, but for your financial future. On Wednesday, March 11th at 8:30 in the morning Eastern Time, the Bureau of Labor Statistics is releasing the February 2026 Consumer Price Index data. That's the official inflation report. And for anyone living on a fixed income benefit, this number matters enormously. Let me explain why in plain language. The CPI, the Consumer Price Index, measures how much prices have gone up across the economy. It measures the real cost of your groceries, your utilities, your medications, your household goods. It is, in theory, a snapshot of how far your dollar actually goes. Now, why do I say in theory? Because here's the honest truth that I think all of us living in the real world already know. Your $100 from 6 months ago is not buying the same things today. We all feel it at the checkout line. We all feel it when we fill up the car, when we pay the electric bill, when we try to buy the same groceries we always buy. The official number might say one thing, but what we're actually experiencing in our day-to-day lives often tells a different story. The most recent data we have right now, the January 2026 CPI, showed inflation at 2.4% year over year. That sounds okay on paper, right? But remember, the COLA increase you received in January was 2.8%. So inflation is already eating right into that raise, and several major economists and financial institutions are warning that February's number, the one dropping on March 11th, could be higher because we are now starting to feel the full effect of two very significant economic events that both kicked in around the same time. There are two major forces that we've been warned about for months that are now starting to show up in real prices, and both of them are going to affect every single one of us on a fixed income. Force number one, tariffs. For months now, economists, including Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, have been saying that the inflation impact of the sweeping tariffs would likely show up in the first few months of 2026, not last year. Right now, and sure enough, we're starting to see it. The Tax Foundation estimates that Trump's tariffs amount to an average tax increase of $300 per household in 2026. Food prices alone are expected to increase by roughly 1.4% due to tariffs on imported food products, and that includes things like coffee, seafood, produce, and alcohol. The Yale Budget Lab reports that 52% of U.S. food imports are now affected by tariff policies. That hits every single person at the grocery store, but it hits people on fixed incomes the hardest because you don't have the flexibility to absorb those cost increases. Force number two, the Federal Reserve printing money. Back in December 2025, the Federal Reserve made an announcement that didn't get nearly as much attention as it deserved, especially for people watching their purchasing power. They announced that they would begin what they're calling reserve management purchases. buying $40 billion worth of short-dated Treasury bills per month starting December 12th. Now, they gave it a fancy new name, but let's be clear about what this actually is. This is the Federal Reserve printing money and putting it into the economy. We've seen this movie before. It has a different name now, reserve management purchases instead of quantitative easing. But the mechanism is the same. When you inject money into the system, that is inflationary by definition. More dollars chasing the same amount of goods means each dollar buys less. And the Fed says this will taper off in the spring. But I think most of us have learned by now not to hold our breath on temporary government financial programs, right? And here's where it all connects for fixed income beneficiaries. We're still above the Fed's 2% inflation target. We've been sitting up around 2.4 to 3% for months. Some economists at the Peterson Institute for International Economics are warning that inflation could exceed 4% by the end of 2026 when you factor in the full effect of tariffs and the new money supply expansion. That is double the Fed's target. And as prices keep rising, your monthly benefit check, which only got a 2.8% COLA at the start of the year, is going to buy less and less and less as the months go on. And let's talk about something that makes the COLA situation even more frustrating. Most Social Security retirees and many SSDI recipients have their Medicare Part B premium automatically deducted from their Social Security check each month. In 2025, that premium was $185 per month. Starting in January 2026, it jumped to $22.90 or nearly 10% in 1 year. Now, think about that alongside your 2.8% COLA. The average beneficiary saw their check go up by about $56 per month from the COLA. But then $17.90 of that increase immediately went right back out the door to cover the Medicare premium hike. Research from the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College found that over a quarter of this year's Social Security COLA is being eaten up by the Medicare Part B premium increase alone. A quarter before inflation even touches the rest. So when people say the 2.8% COLA was pathetic, they're not wrong. When you strip out the Medicare premium increase and account for the real-world inflation people on fixed incomes are experiencing, that raise has essentially already been wiped out for a large portion of beneficiaries. We're only in March, and we've already lost it. Now let's address the other major thing that happened this week that will affect your day-to-day experience dealing with Social Security. On March 7th, the SSA rolled out a sweeping operational overhaul in how it handles customer service, appointment scheduling, and case management. For decades, when you had a problem with your benefit, a question about a disability review, a change of address, an issue with your check amount, you called your local field office and got someone who knew your state's rules, your local programs, and the specifics of your area. That system is gone now. Why? Because the SSA has lost roughly 7,000 workers, about 12.5% of its entire workforce, largely due to DOGE-related cuts. With fewer local workers to handle local cases, the agency has shifted to a nationwide centralized model where any available SSA agent anywhere in the country can handle your case. On paper, it's described as a way to even out the workload and reduce wait times. And to be fair, there has been some improvement. Average phone wait times for the SSA's national 800 number were running at about 30 minutes in fiscal year 2024. They came down to an average of 14.6 minutes in fiscal year 2025. And in the first 3 months of fiscal year 2026, the SSA says it's been maintaining about 9 minutes on average. That's genuinely better. If this video helped you, and I genuinely hope it did, please do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button right now. Click that notification bell too, because we cover updates like this every single day, and you don't want to be the last to know. We've got over 6,000 videos in our library covering benefits, assistance programs, money-saving resources, and financial tools for low-income Americans. There is something in there for you. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you feeling the pinch of inflation on your fixed income right now? Are you paying more for groceries, utilities, medications? I read every comment, and your responses help shape what we cover next. And share this video, please. Someone you love might be panicking right now about a missing SSI deposit or a payment date they don't understand. Share this with them. You might save them a lot of stress. I'll be back the moment that March 11th CPI report drops with a full breakdown. Until then, take care of yourself, keep watching your accounts, and remember, you are not alone in this. I'll see you in the next video.